think we were just keen to do something a bit different. If you've got a story that goes with it, then the song takes on an even bigger meaning than it would on its own.
I think me and Liam have been talking about it on and off for 4 years, but never really had other people in the band who were sort of committed enough and sort of invested enough in the idea.
I don't think there'd be that many people in the world that would be silly enough to actually do this.
So we got Shane and Corey on board, and then sort of things started falling into place. Up until we played with the Walls in the East Brunswick, I didn't really think that people would buy into all these really weird, dramatic sort of songs. And when we first played that, I was really panicked that it wouldn't work, but it got probably the best response we've ever got from any song that night, and from that point on I had faith that this whole concept idea was actually going to work.
We always wanted to do a concept album, so we kind of sat down and started writing a bit of a storyline that could go with some of these songs, and then from that we really expanded with the rest of our songs and the rest of our lyrics and really tied it all together.
I think the story we kind of all wrote together.
Based on just a guy's struggle between the light and dark side of himself, really.
I think even for the band there's disagreement exactly about what certain things are and whether it's real or whether it's symbolic. Everyone can read into it in their own way. In terms of writing the songs, that kind of makes having some sort of darker subject matter to give you a bit of inspiration is certainly makes it a lot of fun. Most of the songs generally start with something that you feel or that you experience, and then from there you kind of let your imagination go and it grows into something much bigger.
Yeah, I really enjoyed writing for Creating a Monster. It's probably my favourite song. Every song in the studio, I think listening to it in working with Aaron, like I could actually hear it as an entire song. So it became more. My parts had to change every time to fit more what the song was about.
When I wrote the drums for that, it's pretty much go 16ths, go fast, don't stop until you've heard so much stuff for that song. Then once you've done that, keep going.
Pushing Me Away was one of those that we knew from the outset, sort of the message we were trying to convey, the feeling we were trying to go for. So that really sort of dramatic, sort of melancholic piano feel, and the lyrics of that were kind of born from a specific moment of the story. And when I was writing it, that was the thing that kind of drove the feel and the lyrics of it.
I guess I found it a bit different because previously I'd just done things myself at home, so for better or worse I was always kind of the one that called the shots, and so sometimes in the studio it comes down to a vote, which was interesting.
Not a big fan of democracy, eh, Liam?
Not really. No, but I think people have been writing stuff closer to when we've been recording, and then also sort of changing things as we're recording to fit with what other people have done. And so that sort of makes it exciting as well, because you can kind of see the song growing and being part of sort of it's the creativity of multiple people kind of combined. Yeah. When we play live, I normally do like up here somewhere, but that's more just because I can't hear what we're playing underneath the drums and bass, so it's the only way I can hear what I'm doing.
I can keep it similar to the chorus.
We recorded in probably everyone's house, many different rooms. We did all the drums at Sing Sing, and then every part kind of separately.
For just about every song on this album, we had some drums, bass, guitars, but then we had things like strings, pads, choir, all sorts of orchestration, and basically that was just a huge list of things we had to do, and every time we do one, we chuck it into turn it into a green square.
The drums for that took probably the longest out of anything we did, because we did a bunch of different kits, different cymbals, different toms. Yeah, it all came out the biggest and probably one of the best on the CD drum-wise. I think at the very end there's a big breakdown sort of part where it all builds up.
That was one of the things that when Liam first brought that part to us, it kind of didn't make sense at the time. It seemed like this weird, freaky disco thing that sort of just got tacked on the end. But if you have a look back at the story and what's happening there and how he's being seduced to sort of the dark side, we sort of came to sort of feel that really worked well for where it was in the story. And more than that, that is just the most fun to play live.
And it's just go nuts. So I just played as hard as I could, as fast as I could on 4 or 5 toms, just straight through for about 30 seconds, finishing with a massive 6-tom fill, and then Corey came up with the big floor tom for the finish, and it really changed the band, man. It sort of revolutionised drums.
Thank you for that.
Yes. Aaron's been like a machine with his stuff. Just every time in the studio, we'll be falling asleep at about 1 o'clock, and he'll just work solid through to 6 a.m. while we're all basically just sleeping on couches. So, big thanks to him for being the only person who really powered through those long nights and got this done for us. Predominantly, Liam. So we sat down for a lot of it and worked that we want, but it's a pretty painstaking process, orchestration. You don't really, when you hear big dramatic music scores, they sound kind of effortless and really sort of easy, and that's what you want them to sound like. But to actually get them there is a hell of a lot of work and a hell of a lot of time. So most of that was sort of Liam. I did a little bit of it along the way. So hours and hours in the studio for something which hopefully people get a little bit of a kick out when they sort of listen a little bit more carefully to the tracks.
It's made an appearance in numerous parts, which has been entertaining to see. A choir of many Johns singing different harmony parts in the higher register. Yeah, you'll be able to hear it.
It's just a snug little frame.
Aaron a couple times asked me to do stuff which sounded really ridiculous when he first suggested them, but I had faith that they were going to work out in the end, so hopefully they don't sound too ridiculous and they add something, and all the shame and regret and tears was worthwhile. Probably like Wicked Waltz, kind of a huge wall of guitars. For the first time we sort of had 5 or 6 guitar tracks laid on top of each other, and if you listen to it when it first comes in after that sort of introduction piano part, that massive hit just really smacks you in the face.
The music was first inspired. I saw a band just out on Chapel Street somewhere one night, and had these weird sort of chords that just seemed so evil without being heavy. They were just evil. So I remember going home and bashing out some stuff on the piano, and I think that's how it all began.
Take my hand and I'll show you what's true and false, 'cause we're about to do the wicked waltz.
Actually, the end of, not the song, the end of the album, the very, very end, it goes from 80 BPM to 220 or something in 10 seconds. It was definitely the hardest thing to record because we had to keep in time, which is someone's job. And it was the most fun, the most intense, and just the craziest. And that's why on the album, when you listen to it at the very end, that's where it all peaks. And that's why I love that song so much. Because you've got to listen from the very start of the album to the very, very end, and you'll understand what that last moment means. And read the book as well. It all makes sense. Then watch The Shawshank Redemption.
Anyone's seen the film clip for November Rain, where it basically is just Slash walking out of a church on a hilltop with a wind machine with an open shirt? That's what I see in my head when I hear all my guitar solos.
The inspiration for that? Phil Collins, In the Air Tonight.
I've been known to be called Justin Bieber on stage. Probably because of my dashing good looks.
We've all got a little bit of a muse streak in us, and we kind of really love some of the approaches they have with vocals and the layering big dramatic harmonies together. So for the ends, the initial track with the band is kind of a really sort of almost garagey Aussie rock sounding thing, but then we kind of combine that with more of a muse vocal over the top. So I think in the end it's played down about 10 vocal tracks, 4-part harmonies, and it's just like this really huge, almost choir sounding vocal that you hear in the choruses of that song, which kind of works really well against the sort of more simple band sort of arrangement beneath it.
Don't you say that it's the end, 'cause we can start again.
We kind of, like with the arrangements, sort of got a killer's feel for the way the guitar parts work on all of the songs. I know Corey's bass lines, if you listen to a lot of them, they've got almost like a Primus sort of feel to them, a lot of really percussive, sort of angular, rhythmic things that go on underneath.
The end of the When the World Was Easy has a 16-bar punk piece that we just threw in one day. Yeah, I just hit the cymbals and said, let's go another time, and we did, and it just stayed in for some reason. And we did record it, but we took it out. But watch it live. Trust me, just watch Corey. That's what you want to see.
Probably because I am nuts. That usually helps. When I get on stage, I'm probably so daunted and anxious that I just can't lose and enjoy myself. It's probably the only way to forget that there is a crowd out there and really just play music. So
I kind of like the idea of in the studio you can play around with a lot of things and you can add in different things that you can't do live. And then when you have the live show, you kind of get that more energy.
For us, it's kind of like the culmination of everything we've done, and hopefully it'll be a really good night. We're really proud of the album, so we're happy and sort of looking forward to getting it out there and hoping that people enjoy it like we do.
Not sure if people will actually like it, but I think most people will kind of respect it. Yeah, we're just kind of looking forward to getting it out there and seeing what people think.
For those who watch this video, there will be footage of me playing drums, I believe. I'm wearing a cut sleeve shirt. I'd like to apologise for anyone who watches that. I didn't know it was getting filmed.
It's been a really unsettling trend recently in the band of Shane wearing cut sleeve with
that's probably my favourite way to eat a hot dog.
That's made it in now.
It was. I've got no offence for it.
Liam Dixon in his natural habitat.
What's it like to live with Shane?
What you've got to remember is at the time,
This is the instrument that I play for the band. It's called a guitar. It's a stringed, amplified
like a lute.
instrument. It's kind of like a modern
Is
lute.
really what you're into? How drunk you are? Because you think
You can't use that.
Good question.
good answer.
Thanks, man.